Good morning and welcome to a beautiful Friday on Ray's Breakfast. Hashtag what are you saying? It's the start of the weekend. So we're serving not just your usual hot coffee or tea, do we? But also a hot conversation to get you smiling into the day. Now, here's a thought. Remember how easy friendships felt back in secondary school or university? Just gist and vibes and hanging out. But somehow, as soon as you step into your 20s, things start to feel a little different. Schedules are tighter, priorities shift, and suddenly keeping up with friends feels like a whole project plan. Well, that's our gist this morning. Why do friendships in your 20s start to feel so different? And to help us unpack this interesting journey of adulting and friendship are my beautiful co-anchors, Goodness Idehe and Triumph Akimboye. Welcome to the show, girls.
Good morning. Good morning.
I love the voices. How are you doing?
I'm doing very well.
Right. So today, Friday is usually our, how do I put it now? But on the table, everything is light, smooth, sweet, vibes upon vibes, and just something to ease into the weekend with. But how are you feeling this morning? I think Goodness has a shout out.
Yes.
Right. So let's have it. Let's have the shout out.
Okay, shout out to let me use the word mother-in-law, my mom. Happy birthday to you. Wish you long life and prosperity, in good health, more money, more doors open in Jesus' name.
Amen. Happy birthday to you, ma'am. So, Triumph, how do you feel this morning? Very quickly.
Well, I'm feeling very great, very good. I woke up quite late, but I was still good.
Why do you feel great and good from waking up late?
I slept.
It was restful.
It was restful.
In Kiki's terms.
I had a restful night, right? Even though it almost costed me a lot this morning, but I had a restful night. And I was glad about it because knowing fully well that for somebody like me, even the weekend is not like entirely free. Before you know it, it's Monday again. It's just going. But I'm glad I was able to rest well this morning.
Very beautiful. So today's conversation is very interesting and I cannot wait to have it with you guys. But we have to go on a short break. When we come back, we'll look through the papers making waves this morning. You don't want to miss any segment of today's show. So stay tight. We'll be right back. Welcome back to the #1 youthful breakfast show this beautiful Friday morning. Remember, you are the main ingredient in all of our conversations. Our phone lines are open. Call us on 0702-500-7749 or 0701-424-2420. And if you're yet to subscribe to our YouTube channel, it is at Official Upgrade TV. Click the subscribe button, like, share the link, tune in to channel 145 on your GoTV, and we'll be here to serve it very hot. All right, moving on to the headline stories this morning. We have The Guardian, The Tribune, and of course the Punch newspaper. And Triumph will be leading us firstly with The Guardian.
Okay, with the Tribune newspaper, let us start with the first one here as regards the PDP crisis that has been going back and forth. Makinde talks tough. When people go low, right as to the story, when people go low or go into the gutters, I don't go with them. This is coming from Makinde. Expresses readiness to reach out to the aggrieved. As Southern leaders kick the Seoul Lagos zoning meeting, Party Not Dead will offer better option in 2027. This is coming from Governor Diri. NEC meets on Monday to adopt zoning meeting committee report. Between Makinde and Nyesom Wike and some other governors, I mean, between the PDP, they've been having a back and forth whether they want to meet at certain place and they don't want to meet about certain place. Some of them are talking about the fact that the Lagos zoning meeting, that they did not agree to the fact that they did the meeting and some of them were not present. So there's a lot of back and forth inside that party, which is PDP. And then we have another story here that says, every Nigerian should learn combat skills for self-defense.
We're talking about this behind the scene.
So the Chief of Defense Staff, Musa, has come out to say that every Nigerian is supposed to learn the basic combat skills for self-defense, swimming, driving, and then the normal defense, knowing how to...
Taekwondo.
Yeah, something like that. The basic things, those things that you learn when you go to NYSC. Those are the things.
When you actually enroll in any class,
yes,
I mean, I see people enroll for taekwondo classes. They tell you, oh, I just acquired this belt. I think it's something I want to do. It's on my bucket list one of these days.
So the basic combat skills, right? So that's what he's telling us. And then we have another story that says vegetarian diets can slash cancer risk by up to 45%, according to study. So maybe you should try becoming a vegetarian.
All right, let's see what Goodness has quickly so that we can be done with this segment.
All right, with The Guardian this morning. So beautiful, and colorful.
As always.
Yes. Guardian is very good at using. This morning, let me just give you a tip before going into that. They made use of an auto-visual imagery, and they made use of repetition to lay emphasis. So I'll just go below the masthead. We have harder, harder, faster, faster. How quest for sexual validation boosts manpower, business, and organ damage. And that story can be read from page 4 and 5. And beside that, we have despite morning debt, NNPCL declares 185 billion naira profit, says FARC. And below that, we have a very beautiful picture of two traditional rulers, the Alaafin versus Oni, old war path for new entrant. And below the Guardian newspaper, we have rift deeping in PDP over Lagos gathering ahead of Ibadan convention. And there are other stories there, but the story for today, because weekend starts from this evening, I will take the first story below the masthead, which says, Ada, Ada, faster, faster. How quest for sexual validation boosts manpower, business, and organ damage. And I won't read the story in details, but just giving you a snippet, a shot of it that those of us, or not those of us, because I'm not even in the league, those of you that have in mind this weekend, you want to, do harder, harder, faster, faster, or you want to go and take all these sexual pills to have enlargement, to have more sexual urges. Please and please. Now, it's already in the news that you should be careful. So you won't be because you are the lead actor in this, you want to be the lead actor. You want to do, you want to spend more hours, you get that. Don't let it be that at the end, you being the lead actor to spend more hours will now be that people will not be giving you just 1 minute, silence in the long run. So please avoid whatever thing that you want to take to trigger whatever action you want. Just be natural and
and that's coming from
Goodness,
therapist Goodness. But very interesting story, and thanks to The Guardian for highlighting that. But there was something in the Punch we forgot to highlight, which is like a follow-up to a conversation we had last week about the ASU, the lecturers in universities. The federal government plan to implement loans for them. I think I read it yesterday, even
so
before.
Now ASU threatens that there is going to be a fresh strike. The president of ASU says that it is called a poison chalice. And what that means is that, an honor that is given to you, but it's going to be a source of problems. So they are saying that they are not going to take that loan. They are not going to take that scheme. Because they consider it them trying to look away from their demands. They spoke about, about
the 2009
and some other demands and some other things. And we remember that we were going back and forth on this issue. They mentioned that they said they've rejected the tertiary institution staff support fund. they said that they want, improved wages and all of that. So, and I think that we've spoken about this a lot. We spoke about this. So I think it's a good one on them to say that they're not taking it.
Yes, to demand for what they want.
So they are going on a warning strike next week.
Which is quite
sad.
You know why the strike is really sad at this point? Because people are writing their examination at this point. I know of University of Lagos and they're conducting. In fact, some people signed out. Some faculties are already done.
I saw a story on that.
Exactly. So I think they should probably just hold on a little bit because forget it though. This strike affects people in their final year. Imagine having to just conclude.
Going to be like, I think, a one-day thing, a warning strike. They should not do anything. They should wait after
let us finish our examinations. I don't know when other schools are writing theirs, then they can go on their strike. I'm clamoring for other Unilab students. They're like, please, let's not do this. But because we're really out of time, I'd just like to read the story I saw on the Punch newspaper, quite interesting, and it says regards politics. It says here that this is from the Chief Defense Staff as well. It says 2027 polls behind surge in killings, and I think that's the only story I'm going to talk about. You know, for a very long time this year, I mean, we've not even concluded this administration, and there's been so much fuzz about the 2027 elections, coalition party, one-party system, different conversations, you know, from different analysts and people who have been looking critically into this matter. The Chief of Defense Staff, apart from his call for us to learn combat skills, he has also come out to link the recent killings across the country as a result of the build-up to the 2027 general elections. And we can agree that that is actually an aftermath to expect, because when you start having tension in different parts of the country, especially in the northern areas, people are already like, oh, no, it's for me, it's not for you. You can expect to see it escalate and become even quite dangerous. So he has mentioned that, you know, some of the recent killings that you have seen are actually as a result of the build-up. In fact, he even linked it to some politicians, you know, activity as well. And he compared it with last year's own, or the former election, pardon me. I was like, the killings that we're seeing now, in fact, is not as compared to what happened in 2023. And the 2027 has not even come. So I think this is like a caution to us as Nigerians to not play by the card of, you know, politicians, because many times we become the, what's this thing in chess? The pawns that are being used. So this is the time for you to be more vigilant. So I can see why he's linking the combat skills
together,
and everything. The Chief of Defense Staff has a number of things to say to us, and this is all the story we have for you this morning. Our conversation today is quite interesting. It's light, but it makes us think and question the dynamics of relationship in our 20s. So if you're a young person out there in your 20s, maybe in your 30s as well, I want you to join us on our conversation with my wonderful co-anchors. We'll take a short break, and when we come back, we're diving in straight. So please stay with us. We'll be right back. Welcome back, our valued viewers. Our topic today has been titled, Why Friendships in Your 20s Start to Feel Different. In our teenage years and early adulthood, friendship often feel easy, natural, and even effortless. We bond over school, shared routines, and common interests without giving much thought to how relationships are maintained. But once we step into our 20s, something starts to shift. Suddenly, we're navigating new responsibilities, career choices, financial struggles, personal growth, and sometimes even romantic commitment. The friends we once saw every day may now live in different cities, work long hours, or simply evolve in ways that don't align with our own journey. So this can make friendships in your 20s feel different, sometimes distant, sometimes more intentional, and at other times more fragile. Yet, it is also the phase where friendships can become deeper, more meaningful, and truly reflective of the people we are becoming. So this morning on Raised Breakfast, we're asking the question, why do friendships in your 20s feel so different, and how can we navigate these changes without losing the bonds that matter? And of course, I would be having this conversation with my wonderful girls on the table. I like conversations like this because they are very reflective for me. I do not come on this table or sit on this chair to speak like one expert in relationship and friendship. I just like to speak from a point of what I have experienced, what I'm currently experiencing, having to draw lessons from how you've probably handled certain things in your life. And I think, you know, friendship for me these days, God, it has gone through a number of definitions. I've had some fallouts. In fact, fallouts have even gone through another definition in my mind, because I used to think fallout is just, we're not going to be friends anymore. But there's some fallout that just naturally happen, and we're not fighting, we're just not talking. I'm like, what kind of a life is this? Recurring one particular meme that I said, what kind of a life is this? So it becomes quite difficult to navigate in your 20s, because your 20s comes with a lot of pressure. Naturally. I mean, you're trying to fix a number of things in your life, and then there's friendship as well to fix. And if you notice the trajectory of social media these days, a number of people are talking about friendships, from female friendships to male friendships, to mostly female though, to every kind of friendship is now on the converse, not now on the lips, pardon me, of everyone that really cares about this. So my first question to you is, I've told you my own point of view, how I feel like, yes, it has really changed, but do you agree with the point or the fact that friendship actually evolves and changes once we step into adulthood?
Coming from, today I'm going to be the analyst, you know, I'm going to be my analyst, and, you know, coming from the experiences, coming from myself, you know, as a person, I actually agree to the fact that friendship changes with adulthood, with more responsibilities, with more, there will be a need to change the definition of friendship. If not, there might be more trouble than you can imagine. So for the past weeks now, I've not really had time for myself or to do some other things. And then I have, you know, somebody messaging me, oh, you've not spoken.
You've not spoken to me.
You've not spoken to me. You know, I've not been around. I've been somewhere. I've been this. I've been that. I'm sorry. But it's not like maybe it's changing the place of who you are to me. But it's just that I get really overwhelmed. I don't know, but we really need to change the definition of what friendship should look like. Not everybody will be able to keep up with each other. Especially for somebody like me. Let me talk about from my own, because I am usually considered as the terrible friend, right? You know, the one that cannot always check up, the one that cannot always, you know, remember. Because before I even remember, like days, months, and all of that, sometimes months, sometimes it's just dawned on me that, oh, I'm sorry, it's not like I'm terrible, but you just have to accept it like that. So from my own perspective, I think the definition of friendship when it comes to adulthood, you should change. Let's change it a bit. Let's reduce the pressure on that word friendship.
How about you, Goodness? What do you have to say?
Well, for me, right, I'll take the word that friendship is like changes, like it metamorphoses into different things.
Butterfly.
Yeah, just like when you have, a hen, a mother hen give birth to a chick. You see the way the chicks, it packs the chick along. Like at the beginning, at the early stage, you want to move all your friends together with you. You see a lot of chicks moving together. But in the long run, along the line, you start seeing that, okay, growth is taking place. And you see that the chick before has now become a full-grown hen. Then, obviously, you can't see like 10 hens going the same time. So you see that same thing. And even the environment. So I feel that for friendship, right, it changes based on, you know, your certain need, your certain situation at that point. And even growth also influences.
So let's even talk about that growth. Because I think friendship I don't want to act like someone who is naive and oblivious of the fact that you should chase growth. I mean, career woman's personal development, self-development and everything. But, there is also the kind of friendship where you're just with somebody because they bring you joy. Do you get it? You just feel at peace being with them. They might not be on Forbes list yet, or they are not discussing any financial investment, how we can invest and buy gold and everything. But they just seem to be that safe space for you. And it has never at any point hindered your own personal journey or growth. But when you hear some people talk about friendship today, it's almost like you can't just be having anybody in your corner that is just bringing you joy. What are you bringing? This term, what are you bringing to the table? It's not just for romantic commitment only, but even friends. So you're like, is there a pressure to always want to choose friends that align with your future, or simply just even being with people that brings you joy? I'm going to give you a very, very funny story. Someone I know, right, was talking to me one time, and there seems to be a drift with somebody that was his friend in that sense. And not because this person just had different values that did not align in that sense, or probably the person was now wayward or terrible in quote, but because probably the person wasn't just aligning with the goals of making the millions yet. They are doing theirs in their very little pace, but there were people that brought you joy. Do you understand? But then there's this pressure of, if you're going to be my friend, our discussion only is how to be on Forbes list. So there's that, are they aligning with your future? Are they aligning with your visions and your goals? And you almost forget the part of having friends that genuinely bring you joy, that are genuinely your rest place, that are genuinely your peace in that sense. You understand? So how do we balance that pressure? Is this something that can coexist together? Or?
So I have two sides to this, to what you just said, right? And the first side of it is that while we were much younger, or the first orientation, one of the first set of orientation that we got as children, as a child, is that when you get to school, who do you move with? The people that are smarter, the people that are doing well in academics. And then even when you advance to school, when you advance to maybe primary school, secondary school, you hear the same thing. Move with people who are better than you.
Birds of the same feather.
Birds of the same feather. In fact, you are even advised that even if your feather is not the same with their feather, the fact that their feather is better, moved with them.
Until you move with them and they're like, you're not the bird we want.
You're not the bird we want. So that's the side of the story. But there is another side of the story. And even when it comes to you being an adult, like you are open that, okay, let me be able to meet with some people that, they are doing better, or maybe in the same wavelength as what I am doing and all of that. But there is also the part that is just for certain things that you want to achieve. What about some other things that you actually need somebody to talk to? What about the other part that you need somebody to lean on?
To just even listen.
To just even listen to you. I mean, your career friend will not be able to listen to the fact that maybe you're going through certain things. You might not even be able to tell that friend that you think that, oh, this person is some deep things about you. But when it comes to somebody that you consider as maybe a friend, or somebody that you consider as somebody that you can open up to, you're able to go beyond even what that career person. And I think those people are even the most important persons, because you tell them, you people have deep conversation about career, you have deep conversations about every other thing about you. And they are ready to listen. It's a different thing to have a friend, and then it's a different thing to have somebody that is actually ready to listen to you. So I just think that those are the two sides of the story while we get to this point.
So are you saying that if your friend isn't aligning with your career vision or that big dream that you have painted for yourself, maybe they seem to be on a slow pace, are you saying that you can still maintain friendship with that person, or would you subtly feel like they are dragging you down?
What I'm saying is that, no. Because whatever friend you're having, when it comes to that friend, now we are talking about that friend, that particular friend, for you to have said that this is my particular friend, or this is my particular person, that means that they don't drag you down. You people might be on different levels, or whatever thing that, the fact that you're even considering levels when you are talking about this kind of person is even already a problem. This person is somebody that can always give you. In fact, these people are the people that they even have better advice to give you. They might not be even than the career person and all of that. So I just feel like these people, regardless of whatever career you're doing or whatever thing you're doing, sometimes the advice that I get from my friend from people around me, people that are close to me that I talk to, that they are not even, career inclined. They just drop something. It might not be in the line of career, but you're able to channel it to use it for their career thing. But stop considering that maybe the friend that you consider closer than your brother, because there's also a friend like that that stick,
the scriptures that sticks closer.
That sticks closer than your brother. That means that there is a reason why they are sticking closer. There's a reason why you can also let go of them. So I think it's beyond career.
Goodness has to say. Can you outgrow certain friends if they are not in tune with your career vision, even though there are people who bring you joy and all of that?
Okay, first of all, let me make a statement that in my career path, I have no friends in that line.
She's lonely.
So I'm not lonely.
Okay.
Yeah. So for me, I feel you can still, match both together. Not necessarily intentionally creating a friend in your career path, right? I think friendship should be just beyond you looking for someone in your career path. Friendship should be deeper than that.
Okay, maybe I should change that definition of career path. Not really like career path, but aligning together with a future vision of being there.
Okay, yes.
So not necessarily the same career.
There, yes, but if it's in terms of career path, no. But being there, yes, I have friends that are like that. And one thing again is at the beginning, right? Another statement.
All right.
My friends don't choose me. Right? When it comes to like making friendship, they don't choose me. I choose my friends. So I know if, for instance,
and what's their own ideology to choosing friends?
I don't know, but I just know that once you are the first person to want to make me your friend, it's not going to work out. That's just
imagine everybody has your mentality. Nobody's going to be friends.
Because not that maybe it's intentional, right?
Okay, you just discovered over time that it doesn't work.
Not that it's just natural. It just come natural that this person. You just say that okay, my kind of likeness for the person you get, and I'll be wanting to like get the person's attention at the same time and also care about the person. But if I see that you're giving me that, I'll just be like, because I'll tell you a story, right? I had witnessed when I was in school. I had friends, which I would call, sorry to say, leeches, right? So when I mean leeches, you know that a leech will actually want to look for an host to stay with or to stick with to get their nutrients. So when I started out having friends, I'm this kind of person that one of my very best friends would tell me that I'm a very social butterfly, right? So I mingle with everybody. I want to make friends with everyone. But in the long run, I found out that when we keep up the conversation, it gradually drops. And I noticed that, okay, this particular people who are around me claiming that, they are friends, they're actually really not friends. Right? They are just like behind the shadow. Probably for that meantime, they are friends. Let me just use like we have friends that temporarily. We have friends that are permanent.
They are friends and then they are friends that sticks closer than your brother.
And those permanent friends are friends that in the long run they turn to be your sister or your brother in terms of relationship. So your relationship deepen. They might necessarily not be in your career path, but you get that one thing you get from them, if it's emotional, if it's advice, if it's anything, they're always there for you. Even if it's to boost your career, right? They're always there cheering you
you're not doing well.
Can one person embody all of that? That sounds a bit unrealistic to me.
I have about 3 of them that have been on the spot steady. And I don't, one thing again, I don't even call them all the time. That's just the funniest thing. I can probably 7 months, I'll just give them a call.
7 months?
Yes. And once we pick up that call, it will look as if we've been talking for long. I'm not kidding you.
Hold on.
It will look as if we've been talking for so long.
7
and we'll catch up with everything.
7 months?
Yeah, everybody is busy, with the things of what we are doing. So that's just
We're going to take a short break, but I want to drop a question. And just give me a very short answer before we come back to continue the conversation. Do you consider yourself ambitious?
Yes.
Yeah.
Can you be friends with someone who isn't ambitious?
Who isn't ambitious?
Yes.
Yes.
You can.
Yeah.
Okay, we're going to continue from there. We'll take a short break. When we come back, we'll continue on our conversation with the dynamics of friendship in your 20s. Stay tuned. We'll be right back. Welcome back, our valued viewers. Today's conversation is really interesting, very needed at this point, honestly, because the times that we're in makes us question the definition of many things, of which includes friendship. So initially, we're talking about the pressure, to align with friends that are going towards your future and your vision, and even those that are not so ambitious. I'll tell you about something I read somewhere where someone said it's okay to outgrow some people, right? And she was talking about it from the sense of you being ambitious and you climbing up the ladder really quick, and then those people that have stuck closer like a brother are probably not so ambitious. I've had conversations, or I've met people that their life is so simple. They don't want to have the millions of naira. They don't want to be on the spotlight, right? They don't even want to make impact, all the social impacts. They just want to have a simple home, eat, sleep, wake up, get married. And you, that's why I asked the question, can you be friends with someone who isn't ambitious, even though their values in the sense of maybe morals or religion's values seems to be in line, but they don't seem to be all there, right? That's why I asked that question. But before we go back to continuing the answer of that question, I think we should talk about competition, right, in friendship, amongst friends, amongst circle of friends, because it's becoming a major reason why friendships are breaking up these days. Subtle competition. I see my friend always bagging the awards, bagging the degrees, bagging the money, changing cars, and I'm still striving, right? And it's almost like, but we are friends now. The truth is, humans by nature are competitive. That's just the truth. Yeah. You might want to deceive yourself and say, oh no, I'm happy for you. Yes, you might be happy, but it will make you question what you do not have. And if you have not built a mentality that can truly be happy for somebody, you find yourself slipping into that hole of competition, which by nature we are meant to be. Do you understand? So, and that is like a red flag already in friendship. It makes friendship to break up. You see some people, they don't talk to you anymore. Not because there was actually any brewing fight somewhere, but they feel like, she did on air. She did on air. She did always do this. Always, we can't be friends like that. They even feel threatened. Do you understand? Yeah. So how do we manage that in our relationship?
Okay, so I mentioned that when it comes to this word friendship that we are still talking about, sometimes we have it with different people, with different situations. You might have friends that you are not in the same career path. You might have friends that the person is not even career inclined, is not interested. Like you said, let's just
live and breathe.
Let's just live and breathe.
Yeah.
And all of that. Personally, let me talk from my own experience, right? The people that have been friends with me for a very long time, even before I started out with maybe career, there were some people in the picture, right? There were some people in the picture, and so far so good. Most of them have still been, because I'm literally not the person. People used to have, terrible stories with friendships and all of that, but I don't really have terrible stories with friendship. Even if I have just very few here and there and all of that, because I feel like it is very easy for me to know if you are going to journey with me or not. So I better make it be, that normal friendship, so that if anything even happens, I'm not hurt, or you don't even know so much about me that you can
become
hurt
very
me.
Vulnerable with
yes,
them.
Very vulnerable with you and all of that. So what I'm saying is that when it now comes to competition, there is always a challenge with people, when you feel like you're beginning to acquire, become something, you have some money, you have all of that. Not forgetting that at the end of the day, you're just who you are. You are human. You are nothing but a person.
In the hands of the Creator.
Right? You are nothing but whatever it is that you are. So, but people have not been able to manage that that way. For me now, if there's anything that I always, pray to God that whatever it is that I become, let me remember, the days of my little beginnings, right? So, but for not everybody is conscious of that. Not everybody is able to set that kind of limits, that kind of mentality, like you said, that kind of you telling yourself that, there are some people that, and this friendship thing that you're talking about boils down to not just, your friends. It comes with even your family, because for some people, their families are like the ones that are actually very, very close to them. And because you're becoming something, I have a recent situation right now that, not a personal situation, but I have a recent situation here of this kind of thing that, okay, maybe because you feel like you have something, then you are all puffed up. Nobody can talk to you. Nobody can relate with you. Even outsider can now relate with you better than the people that you should have in your circle can relate to you. So I think for people, it takes you to actually pinch yourself every time that, okay, am I carrying the same people in the journey with me?
I want to ask Goodness this question. It's still in the competition line, but let's tweak it a little bit. Imagine during, let's say you have someone who is very close to you, right? Your very good friend, and she's thriving so well, right? She's like beating everything hands down. And then you start getting envious. Or will I use the word jealous? I think there's a difference between jealousy and envy right now. Let's say jealousy, not like the one that you want to kill her. Just like, I wish this was also mine. Do you think, I've heard people say that it's good to converse with your friend or communicate with them as regards your emotions per time. Do you actually subscribe to that ideology of talking to people that are your very close friends? Should you start feeling envious or jealous about
I want
your
to get
success?
the question. Should I tell them if I'm jealous about them?
Well,
for
should
me,
you tell them how you actually feel, your emotions? Should you let them know that I'm feeling this way? I know it's not right, but I just want you to know. Do you think it's something that can be done?
In a way, for me, I think I will be in that space of voicing out to tell such person.
And they will block you immediately.
No. If it's, like you said, if it's a very, very good, your close friend or your best friend, I don't think they will block you, right? I've also been in that situation before. Even currently, she had traveled out to US. She's studying now. So I even sent her a congratulations message and I spoke to her too. So, but for that aspect, she didn't turn me down. The only thing was, what she did was she gave me a piece of advice, right? At the same time, I also got some things for her because she gave me some things that I wouldn't have known, right? To work in that part if I want to get to where she is. So I feel it is also necessary when you see a particular friend thriving. I think that's also one of the essence of friendship, to move together, right? There should be that positivity. So if your friend is doing well, you as the other friend should not just be sitting back, right? Yeah. Just be behind. So if your friend is doing well, at the same time, you make your friend to also do well. Because if your friend is doing well, all of you are doing well at the same time. Because it will come to a point where you will need...
everybody.
No, it's come to a point where you will need a certain thing, right? If you don't assist your friend to be in the position you are, you might not find anybody to help you. So at the same time, as you're climbing the ladder, approaching to the greater heights, also don't forget your friends, because they are there as backbone.
Let's climb together.
Yeah.
You said really very amazing stuff, right? But you see, I think the reason why people even like to be friends, firstly, with those that are very ambitious, with those that are very future-oriented, is because people probably they want to also reduce the risk of the jealousy, the snide remarks, the competition that comes. Because if we're on the same level, if we're on that same 6 figures, 7 figures, multiple, exactly,
9 figures.
You might, even though competition isn't always financial, because it looks like I'm just focusing on the financial part. People can still compete with you if you seem to have a perfect relationship. Exactly. If you seem to be the one that when we go for drinks in the restaurant, the guys are always coming to get your number first. We might be earning so much.
I think that kind of person, you should also work with your mind, right? It's natural that the person might actually get jealous, like you might get jealous. But what's my own cure to that, or my own pills to that is, I'm just telling you, I've been in that. So when it comes to beauty, I have somebody to like that in my space, right?
I've beauty now.
So
I've experienced
the
it.
thing is, I don't allow it to get to me. I even laugh. And one thing I do, I'm just giving you a solution. First of all, I laugh it out. After laughing it out, yes.
That situation.
After laughing it out, I just work with my mindset and act like, oh, she's not even there. Nothing even happened. Like, I lie to myself. You get? I lie to myself.
No, wait now.
Not terrible way. It's a way of also, like,
you know why it's terrible? Because you are just suppressing an emotion that will come back later.
I did this to remember.
Oh, really?
I'm serious.
Okay.
So that's why I said, first of all, you need to know yourself. They say, even in philosophy, I said, man, know thyself. Know yourself. So what works for me might not work for you. That's what they usually say. What is good for the goose might not be good for the gander. So just know what works. For me, I laugh. That's just it. After laughing, I'll act like, no, it never happened. And I move on.
Laugh in humiliation.
Yeah, I remember something, when I was in 200 level.
Yeah.
200 200 level, you know that 200 level, you're still like small, not like small, you know, by age, but you're still coming in, 100 level, 200 level. So when I was in 100 level, usually when we you know, when we get to school, like university, the people that you journey with sometimes in 100 level might not be the people that you will journey with by the time you're leaving. So I
think I was very lucky. I had the same friends throughout.
Wow.
I experienced that in my 200 level. In my 200 level, you know, there was this particular friend of mine. I don't even know how we grew. Although, you know, then, you know, my early 200 level days. So I think what happened with us was that she had to, because something like somebody that feels like they are better than you, they have more. So I don't know if was on my part or on her part, but we just decided to adjust and change the circle. Like, she started working with somebody else, you know. And then the people that I was even working with, then when I was saying that they were the one that took, but I felt like it was not, that was not what happened. That it's just that maybe we were both thinking that, oh, this gap between the both of us, we might not be able to come together to agree with it. Yeah. So I think that was my own experience.
You know what? I heard
and usually she's the more beautiful person. She knows more people. Then me, I don't have any followers. As at that point, she had a lot of followers, a lot of people that she knew in school, and then
You know what I just thought of right now? Somebody one time mentioned, I think very recently, I watched a YouTube video of two friends, and they were saying that the reason why female friendships are quite difficult is because every female themselves, their emotions are just everywhere. So imagine two people with unstable emotions, in quotes, because my own emotion is stable, with unstable emotions, in quote, now coming together to want to form something meaningful. It can be harder. I don't think for men it's that hard. They are on vibes.
I think what I'm saying, that we need to read
is just alpha, guy, G, and everybody's gone. But females, because they are processing emotions a little bit more intensely, everything is heightened. Anything that you're saying or not saying, I am interpreting it times 20. Do you understand? Because, so imagine two people that are like that being friends. That's why people think that female friendships are a bit tougher to handle. I'll give you my own experience. Very, very vulnerable right now, but people will take me as I am. So in secondary school, I think I'll categorize myself as somebody that was very cute in secondary school. Now I'm pretty. There's a difference between cute, pretty, and beautiful. So in secondary school, there was this particular time, there was a major comparison between me and my friend. It was terrible. People even set, you know when they say, who dick pit for me? People used to dick pit though. That's how me and this friend of mine, we were sitting together. In fact, I was sitting on her lap because she's bigger than me. And the boys in SS203 just came into our class. Just very randomly, comparison started. Nasa is saying that, let's say the girl's name is Pelumi. We're like, Precious is so finer than Pelumi. Imagine. These are people that are young, that have not heard any motivational speech of believe in yourself. People that are still trying to build their esteem. And they're like, Precious is finer than Pelumi. See her nose, her mouth is so cute. You know, in my mind, I felt scared, right? Because I was like, hey, Pelumi is not going to start hating me from now on. Because we're just in SS1 or so, or just SS3. I was very bothered about that. And Pelumi too, like you, laughed it. Like goodness would laugh. But then, fast forward to university. It was different because in case you think you are the finest girl in your secondary school, enter uni, they are yet to be born. You will see 50, like, hey, God, they create. So I've had friends like that I'm working with too, and you know, guys are going towards them, collecting their number. They have this much attention.
And then I'm like,
who wants me? But not like in that sense. But oh wow, they find her more attractive. It just softly somehow does something to your head and everything. And I think generally, like you said, we need to actually know ourselves. And I think talk about it. There's no point trying to form and say, I know who I am. But I know you know who you are. Just laugh about it. You know, even the person that is being complimented, don't just swallow the compliment and be like, I'm more prettier. Laugh about it with your friend because, trust me, some of this heated, you know, tension that comes up later, it can be dissolved if we just
immediately
on it immediately. So that your laughter stuff, I think it can work, but not the laugh that you're laughing in tears or in humiliation. The one where we are all just joking about it or even shushing the person. In fact, if you find out that you're in a circle, be amongst friends now, and somebody is always coming into that circle to single you out, right, from other people. Oh, you're more prettier, you're more intelligent, you're this. they're about to ruin your friendship.
Yeah.
They are. What you do is, I beg.
You don't do.
Do you get it? You don't do, or just find a way to take your friends out of. This is a simple nugget that I've seen experientially that can help us actually maintain good relationships. Because some people, they are not bad. Look at me that I was telling you that I was feeling bad before. When they now did it to me, I also felt like, shame me self no fine. Do you understand? So we are humans, and we have that competitive nature inherently, right? So before we begin to wrap up, I want to take a cue from something Goodness mentioned, where she said that she has not spoken to some of her friends for 7 months. Goodness, if we are friends, I'm going to drag you on social media.
First of all, I don't have many friends.
I will be putting links about some people
I
saying they are
have
friends.
less than 10 friends in total, honestly.
So
those 10 friends, close
So you don't measure
Ten-
friends by the consistency of their presence?
No,
How about you, Triumph?
You will be present. You must be present.
I don't.
I mean, when I mean you must be present, just like I said, it's not like maybe I'm also the kind of person that I'm always the one, looking out
Yeah,
and all of that. But 7 months is terrible. 7 months for me, I'm like, what's going on? But I really think that friendship should be consistent thing.
Yes.
Especially when it comes to friendship that sticks closer. You know what she's saying, what she mentioned is that she mentioned, 7 months and then they're able to like see other things. I mean, I have friends like that, for example, I was telling you about one of my friends, when we spoke, we were able to catch up on all the things that we were supposed to, but that one is just like my friend. But then my friend, because even your friend wants to like, no, how far this particular thing, or
For example, is that my circle of friends, everybody have one thing or the other to do. You can even send a message before she will reply.
No, they're even busy.
The point, it makes it even more amazing that I am very busy, but I remember you. It shows that you are very dear to my heart.
We are not close.
Okay, let me say something.
What happened to video call?
We'll see. There's no time.
I have a story.
We are very good friends, best friends.
I have something that I do. Because I know fully well that I'm not really the type that always checks up on people. So I have this particular friend. We are not in the same location presently. So one thing I do so that I will be able to keep up with her is that I send her money. I send her the money that I need. So I always have to, can you send me money? Can you send me this certain amount of money? Maybe I need allowance and all of that. I keep maybe, this next, so that I can always message you. Because I know that naturally, I might not want to, I might get so involved. So in 2 days, 3 days, please, can you send me what's it called? I'm even tired. At least I will even say what's going on. I'm tired of this, having to spend and all of that.
But that takes a level of trust, though.
For trusted persons, for friends that you trust and all of that. But that way, I know that whether anything happens or whatever, after 1 week or after 3 days or after 2 days, I have to be in this person's DM. So the person is always above my chat.
The one that works for me is setting alarms. I do even do that for my parents. I have to call them by Friday. Once your alarm rings and it shows you the reason for the ringing, you pick up your phone and you've done it.
But for me,
that way you're intentional.
It's foundation, because these same persons I've mentioned, right? We've spent our lives like 4 years together.
And then together. 7 months apart.
So it's really
continue our conversation
like
behind the scene, but of course that's your own ideology. As we've seen today, friendship in our 20s may not always look or feel the same as they did before, but that doesn't mean they lose their value. If anything, this season challenges us to be more intentional, to choose friends who grow with us, and to appreciate the depth over the frequency of our connection. Going with goodness. So whether your circle is big or small, what really matters is the quality of the bond and the effort you put into keeping it alive. Thank you very much for joining us. Till next week, Monday till Friday, 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. It's Ways Breakfast, your #1 youthful breakfast show. And that's how we sign out. See you all next week.